considering the first reading of the Human-Assisted Reproductive Technology Storage Amendment Bill. The Honourable Steve Chadwick had the call and has about 6 minutes left if she wishes. She doesn't. Dr. Paul Hutchison.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak on this Human-Assisted Reproductive Technology Storage Amendment Bill. Mr. Speaker, this indeed has come about because of a situation whereby fertility clinics throughout the country who store gametes and embryos may be doing so inadvertently illegally. It is important to point out exactly what gametes are, because as I was wandering back to my room before the dinner break, there was one of the radio announcers interviewing the Minister of Justice and asking what gametes were. They, of course, are eggs and sperm, and when eggs and sperm come together, they form embryos. The Minister of Justice did point out in his speech that it was in 1983 that the first in vitro fertilisation took place in National Women's Hospital in New Zealand. But what it is important to realise is that prior to that, sperm were being frozen and can be kept for long periods of time. It wasn't until more recently that embryos have been able to be successfully frozen and then thawed, and even more recently that eggs have been able to be successfully frozen and then thawed. But I'm sorry, I missed. The veterinarians have been ahead of medicine. Well, so they should. So they should. I think that's quite right. But I must point out, Mr. Speaker, that this bill is not about the biological arguments. Undoubtedly, they are pretty important about how long eggs, sperm and embryos can be stored, nor is it about the ethical arguments, because indeed they are complex. And as I think Stevie Chadwick, the Honourable Stevie Chadwick, pointed out earlier on, the genesis of the Human-Assisted Reproductive Technology Act was a long one. It did come about through the hard work of a lot of different people, including the Labour member Diane Yates. Her bill was later merged with a government bill, but there were a lot of people working on this, ethicists, clinicians, the New Zealand Infertility Society, and indeed it has been a hugely important topic for many, many years. And as I say, the ethical and biological implications of it are extraordinarily important to those individuals who are affected, those people who, for one reason or another, may wish to donate the gametes or the embryos, or who may wish to be recipients of them. But this bill is indeed about an anomalous situation that has been created inadvertently in an otherwise very complex bill. Mr. Speaker, the amendment will make it clear both to the fertility clinics and to the Ethics Committee as to how storage of gametes and embryos may take place in New Zealand. I indeed commend it to the House.